Hello everyone and welcome to the For Fun of Knit podcast. My name is Linda and I'm coming to you from South Surrey, just 45 minutes outside of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. This is October, Vlogtober, although I'm not doing a traditional Vlogtober. But I did want to give you an update on the Stephen West knit along and go over a finished object. So hope you grab a cup of tea or whatever you're having to drink and spend 15 minutes with me as I give you a short update. So today is Friday, October 7th. Yay! You'll probably see this tomorrow or whenever you get around to it. And yesterday, October 6th, was when Stephen West dropped his pattern, the first clue of his pattern. So if you're not familiar, there is still time to join. If this is your jam, it is the Stephen West Twists and Turns Mystery Knit Along. This is my third year doing it, but I have knit, and this will be my fifth Stephen West shawl. Now, there's a lot of folks in the camp of, oh no, Stephen West is too difficult or a little bit too, colorful patterns, too much going on in some of his patterns. And then there's the camp that it's, oh my God, we love everything Stephen West does. I'm somewhere in the middle. I really do like Stephen West's patterns. There are some that I do not like, absolutely, but that's with every designer. Whatever's my aesthetic, sometimes they hit my aesthetic, sometimes not. But I love the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along for the fun. My podcast is called For the Fun of Knit, and I find, in my experience, having a short-term project where I don't know what's going on, all I know is I have beautiful yarn and an amazing pattern designed by an amazing artist, because I do consider Stephen West to be an artist. He's kind of like the Picasso of knitting. But I just love the not knowing. I love the learning. I love the surprise at the end. I love the camaraderie of the knit along, because it's quite a big knit along. It's kind of worldwide, and there are other knit alongs that are just as big. Don't get me wrong, but this one, because it really, Stephen West really pushes me outside of my comfort zone when it comes to not only knitting the actual garment itself, but when it comes to color. And I will always back off on the color and head a little bit more neutral. You might not think so by the sweater I'm wearing, but I do. I tend to be more neutrals, but when it comes to his knit alongs, I try and be a little more flamboyant, just because, again, there's so many beautiful yarns, so many beautiful colors that I would like to experience knitting with them. And at the end of the day, some of the shawls that I make are absolutely my aesthetic and fitting in my wardrobe. And some of them are just for the fun of knit, and they end up being works of art. So that's my perspective on the knit along. Nothing to me is ugly. It's just whether or not it fits in my lifestyle and what I like to wear. So on that note, I know a lot of you have commented on this is your first Stephen West knit along. So congratulations if it's your first. Kudos to you if you're on your second or third like me, because obviously it's hitting a point that we really enjoy the process. For those of you that are brand new, just trust the process and pace yourself. No one says it has to get done by the 5 weeks that he gives you. He drops clues every Thursday starting from yesterday, and then again he'll drop a clue on the 13th, the 20th, the 27th. I think that's the last one, but then you get the rest of the week, into November to finish. You do not have to keep that timeline. That is an arbitrary timeline for when he drops the clues. That doesn't mean you need to knit it in that time. I am not looking at Instagram. Oh no. trying desperately not to look at Instagram because I don't want to know. I know that there are people, okay, so the Clue launched yesterday. There are knitters out there, and I applaud you, that have already finished Clue number 1. So before I go into it, I want to advise you that this is a spoiler alert. So if you want to be surprised and you don't want to know what you're knitting, do not look any further on this video. Tune in to the end. I will put a note for the time at which I draw the giveaway. So if you commented on my last video, I'm going to draw the giveaway prize at the end. So let's get right into it. Let's get into, oh, before we do Stephen West, let me show you my one finished object because, hey, I just got to show you a finished object. My socks are finished, and these are my Christmas socks, one pair of many Christmas socks that I'm have knit, but these are the vanilla, they're sort of vanilla, they're sort of a slip stitch pattern, but made with Homespun House Christmas at Hogwarts 2020 colorway. I missed last year. I thought this was 21, but this is 2020, and I didn't get last year's. I will be getting 2022 because I just love everything Harry Potter. And the actual contrasting toes and heels was just a mini from Hugh Loco. And I think it was in her, I can't remember what they were called. It had something to do with sexy colors. I can't remember what the minis were called. But this is my pair of socks finished. Yay, I don't have to worry about them anymore. And this is the actual colorway. And it's just beautiful yarn. It's an 80-20 base, beautifully speckled. I would say at first I didn't mind the pooling. Now I'm not really a fan of the pooling. I mean, I love these socks. They're Christmas socks for me, so that's great. But if I had my druthers, I think I would prefer that dyers, if it's going to be a sock yarn, try and prevent pooling. I don't know. What about you? Do you like the pooling, or would you prefer that they try and prevent pooling? And I think it really depends on the garment and the circumference that you're knitting. This was 72 inches around the top, and then the pooling got a little less and more stripy when I reduced it to 64 stitches. 72 stitches, lots of pooling. 64 stitches, more striping. And I don't know if that's the yarn or if it's dyed that way, or I don't know. So these are just for me. They're just Christmas socks, and now I get to enter them into Kelly and Noelle's 2022 sock along, which is Knits and Pieces sock along. And so if you don't know Kelly and Noelle, they are the hosts of the Knits and Pieces podcast, and they also have a wonderful chat night on Tuesdays that we all participate in. So that is it for the socks. Now, don't have to worry about those ones. Terrific. Anyway, so let's get into Stephen West. So it is called Twist and Turns. It launched yesterday. I've got a few notes here because I just want to make sure I cover everything. I've already talked about what I love about it. Certainly learning new skills, pushing me outside of my comfort zone. I talked about that. And the sense of fun, obviously. The only objection I have to the entire KAL this year, and it's probably, I would have had this objection every year, but this is the first year I got a bag. And I talked about that in my previous video. I have plenty of yarn. I didn't need any more yarn, but I thought I needed to buy a kit in order to get the bag. I did not see that you could buy the bag at the bottom. So here's the bag. This is You're a Knitter Baby, which is a really nice sturdy canvas. It's got a pocket on the inside. It's got this cool handle and a drawstring. So overall, bag is a really well-made bag. What I would say is I wish it was larger. So if Stephen West ever watches this video and has, or anybody who knows Stephen West or the company that Stephen and Penelope that put this on, could you give the feedback that the bag should be a little bit larger? If it's going to fit a whole entire shawl, it should just be a little bit larger. Just saying. Just saying. That was my first thing. Now, the colors that I chose, just to remind you, the colors that I chose, I just got to dig one out. I chose Shirley Bryan's, her Mercury Yak sock in the Braverman colorway. And do I have, yes, I have glasses. I have to think about that. This is 70% merino, 20% yak, 10% nylon. It's 437 yards per skein. And this is the Braverman colorway, and it's really an eggplanty aubergine. Oh my God, I love it. Look at the gloss on that. Now this is applied yarn. Interesting. Then my contrast, so this is my master color. My contrast color is from the actual kit that I bought, Life in the Long Grass, in the colorway Crush, and this is their singles 100% superwash merino. And hopefully you can see that this has got these darker purple, almost black, and it's got the odd speckle of pink in it, but really rare. But it's predominantly a purple, gray, and black, which is why I ended up going with this skein as opposed to what came in the kit. And then the pop of color, theme, do you think there's a theme? The pop of color is also Life in the Long Grass, and I don't, hang on 2 seconds, I'll just go get. This is Wild Rose Bay, which is a combination of deep dark purples and that light heathered lavender sort of grayish tones. So those are my, so this is my pop, master color one, contrast color, pop. So those are my choices. So that's what that is. I'll put those down here. Now, so I have tried desperately, I'm in the middle of the row, unbelievable. I have tried desperately not to look at anyone else's project because I don't want to know. I love the surprise. It is not my comfort zone. I'm like many of you. If I'm going to put the time, effort, and money for the yarn into a project, normally I like to know what I'm knitting. I like to see the pattern so I can feel comfortable with my color choices, make sure it's something that aesthetically I would enjoy. This mystery knit along is the one exception I make to that rule. It is the one free-for-all that I do. That I just do it for the sheer experience of not having control at all other than my color choices. So my color choices I love, and notice I said, you know, Stephen West likes to go into really bright colors, and, you know, he likes to play with color, and he pushes you to play with color. I kind of jammed a little bit in my kit choice, I have to say, because they're pretty staple colors. I mean, aubergine, a grayish color, and, you know, hot pink. They're kind of beautiful. They're freaking beautiful. But I didn't go totally wild or outside my comfort zone in terms of color. I would say the eggplant being dark, just how much contrast there is, would probably be one of those things that's outside my comfort zone. However, I'm going with it. I'm loving it. And it's interesting. So, spoiler alert, here we go. You start with, and I have, keep in mind, nobody tell me what this is supposed to look like. So please don't leave notes telling me what it's supposed to look like, because I haven't looked. He starts you off by making an I-cord. So a really long, a long I-cord. Then your second row, you're picking up stitches with the contrast color. So this was the main color that you do the I-cord row. Then you do pick up stitches with the contrast color, and then he makes you do, okay, I'm having so much fun. This is the fun part. I don't know. First of all, you know, you pick up all these stitches on the I-cord, and then he has you knit some, then turn your work around, cast on some extra stitches, then skip some stitches on the I-cord, then pick up some more stitches, cast on some more stitches, and it goes on and on and on. And this is what you end up with. So far, this is what you end up with. You end up with a section that is turning into be chevrons, and you end up with a section of ladders. And you're striping it, so you're switching out your master color and your contrast color, and then it goes more chevrons, and then it goes ladders, and then it goes chevrons, and then it goes ladders. And you have to do quite a few repeats, and it's paid for a pattern, so I certainly don't want to give anything away. But I know for a fact some people have already, look at how pretty that is. Look at how pretty those chevrons are. Oh my gosh. I'm not the world's greatest knitter by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm loving those colors. That yak just shines. Ooh, I got to get me some more of that. That's pretty. That's really pretty. So the fun part, I'm looking at this and I have no idea what we're doing. It's called twists and turns. Well, so far I see turns because I'm having to turn to cast on these stitches for these ladders, then turn it back, knit across, then turn to add more stitches for the next set of ladder, then turn and knit across. So I get turns so far. I don't get cables. I don't get twists and turns. So I get the oh, as well as twists and turns. Well, he says you need a cable kneader, so there must be cables at some point. But this, I don't know if I'm knitting. Here's the fun part. Like seriously, I hope I don't lose any stitches here, but is this the top? Am I knitting the top of the shawl? Or is this a side? Because Stephen West, you don't know. Is this a side and it's going to work its way this way? Oh no, sorry. That way? Or is this the bottom? Or is this a section? Because a lot of his patterns, he does sections. So I have no idea. I'm going to guess. Well, see, the thing is, this is chevrons. This is pointy. This is going to be pointy at this end. So it doesn't seem like pointy would be around your neck. Maybe pointy's around your neck. I don't know. But it seems more like pointy would be at the bottom. So I love it. I have no freaking idea what I'm doing. I don't know what section of the shawl I'm knitting. I'm just following the instructions. He gives you a whole week to do this section. It's a lot of knitting. I'm not going to lie. So if you are working, or you're like me, you're a slow knitter, or any combination of that, or you just can only knit a little bit every day, again, don't freak out about the timeline for the next clue. But, you know, my sister's not even going to be able to start until Saturday. Now she, Clasina, I see you. She looked at Stephen West's video. Stephen always provides a video with each clue to walk you through each step. He demonstrates the whole shawl. So if this is your first mystery knit along and you get confused by the instructions, don't panic. Just go to his video. He shows you each step. And when I got stuck at the beginning because it didn't make sense to me. I guess I just can't see it. I just don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing. So I need that visual aid. But I only watch the video to the point where I'm at. I solve my problem and then I stop. And then I go back and I knit and I follow along with the written instructions until I get lost again. I kind of go, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Am I doing this right? Then I'll check the video, make sure only to the point where I'm at, and then I stop. Because I don't want to spoil the surprise. Now, for those of you, like my sister, who watch the entire video and know beforehand what you're doing, and from that she chose her colors. For those of you that have watched before, she chose the bright package. But needless to say, loving every moment of this. I have many more repeats to go. It's only Friday. I've got until Wednesday to finish this. And literally, I've broken it up. I take the instructions on clue number 1 and I say, okay, I have 6 days to knit before the next clue. So I prefer to not do it all at once. It's a lot of knitting for me, and you know me, I have a few other things that I like to knit on. I need to have that sort of switching of gears. So I break it down into, okay, I've got 6 days to knit this. How much do I have to do each day? And maybe I'll do a little bit more so I have a bit of a buffer in case I run into any problems, because I don't really know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing with the instructions because Stephen West tells you exactly and shows you, but I can't picture it. So when I say I don't know what I'm doing, it's just I can't picture the construction of this shawl. I love it. I absolutely love it. Maybe you can, from looking at it, tell what we're doing. I don't know. Maybe that is the neckline. I don't know. Maybe it goes like that. I don't know. But I love it. It's just fabulous. So that's where I am thus far. And so I will give another video after I have, like, probably on the Wednesday before, just to show you everything that I've knit to date and show you the end product. Now, you might have already seen it all and aren't going to be surprised like I am. Please don't tell me. I'm not going to look at anybody's. I totally want to be surprised by how this turns out. But what I can say is I'm liking this a lot more than Shawlography so far in terms of my color choices. And I think a lot of the benefit of this one, if this is your first time, is you only had 3 colors you had to choose from, not 5. Shawlography was a lot. You saw mine. I love it, but it's a very unique piece. It's not my general aesthetic, but it's definitely a work of art, which I appreciate. So that's it for Stephen West update right now. Why don't we go to, oh, did I bring my iPad? Nope. I'll be right back. Let's do the giveaway. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so just to remind you what the prizes were. So I'm going to try and do 4 videos through October, giving you an update of the Stephen West clues. I might do a 5th at the very end, and if so, I may or may not do a prize for that one. I'm not sure. If I do, it will be in the first week of November, maybe the second week of November, and if I do a giveaway on that one, it will be a Christmas-themed giveaway. So if you're not subscribing, you might want to think about it. Okay, so I said that I was going to offer 4 prizes for each of the weeks. You do not have to comment again on my October videos. How should I do this? To save everybody a lot of heartache, for those of you that have commented on the last video, you don't have to comment again, unless you want to. But I'm going to pick the winners from the last video that I did, episode 30. So if you are a new viewer and you have not provided a comment identifying which prize that you want, you can continue to add prizes or add your name on the episode 30. I have to think about this. Sorry, guys. On my last episode. So I have cut off the comments or put in the notes that for today's draw, no more comments after today at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll erase that once we pick the winner for this week. But if you have not already put a comment about the video or which yarn you would like to choose as a prize should you win, then go back to episode 30, put a comment in. I am vetting it for duplicates, so no need to comment again. And the way it's going to work is whoever wins today, you get to choose. Hopefully you've told me what you want. That makes it easy. But if you haven't, you get to choose which of the 4 prizes you would like. Then next week there will be 3 prizes. So hopefully you've told me what you want in the first video, or you have to choose one of the 3 remaining. The third week, there will be 2 prizes left, and the last week you get whatever's left over. So, without further ado, one of the choices, excuse the crinkling, is this Molly Klein Designs Scooby-Doo mini set. So this is Thelma, Fred, Louise, everybody, Scooby, Shaggy, they're all in there. So if you're a Scooby-Doo fan, this might be so much fun to knit with. And it comes with a little puzzle. This puzzle is a Halloween puzzle. It is not child friendly. It is minuscule little pieces, so please, I'm including it, but I take no responsibility for, maybe I shouldn't be sending it. You tell me whether I should send it. I don't know. I have to think about that. It's not child friendly. Maybe, yeah. That's on the fence. But the Scooby-Doo minis, for sure. The second choice, or another option, is Ginger Snap That. Now this is a peachy orange with purple flecks. It's just gorgeous. It is Inside My Head in her Lush Fingering Weight, which is a 2-ply 75/25 base. and it is just gorgeous. So that is ginger snap. That's one option. Another option is also ginger snap that, and don't get me wrong, I love everything that they do. Ginger snap that yarns. But this, sometimes I buy stuff for the name. I am 100% that witch. That's what this one is. And again, it's in the same base, but this one's just got a tiny bit of orange, but it is this tonal lavender, gray, and purple with just a little teeny weeny spot of orange. I love it. And then the last option, of course, is the Cozy Knitter sock set in the ghoulish, colorway, which is 100% Halloween. Very, very cool. So, without further ado, different common picker, just chose one. Let's give it a go. Wow, that was fast. Emmy Peters. Oh my goodness. Emmy, if I'm not mistaken, you're in the Netherlands. Oh, this is so exciting. And yes, I should say that all of my giveaways are international. I don't care. So I just want to share the love of yarn, and if I can inspire you to do a little bit of knitting or knit for someone else or knit something great for yourself, then that's what my giveaways are all about. Oh, and she's making a cozy memory blanket, so there you go. So Emmy Peters, please let me know. Email me at for the fun of knit vlog, VLOG, at gmail.com. Or DM me on Instagram. That works as well, with your mailing address and particulars and a phone number. I need that for Canada Customs, and I will absolutely send that Scooby-Doo set out to you. So that's everything that I have for this update. It's a little longer than 15 minutes. I always underestimate how long recording takes. But I just want to wish everyone in Canada a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully you're sharing it with family and or friends or both. Eat lots of great food. I am the only person who that likes turkey and does not get it, because the rest of my family doesn't like turkey. But we're having prime rib roast, so I guess we're pretty lucky. So regardless of what you're having or how you celebrate and whether you do or you don't, just enjoy the weekend, and I look forward to speaking with all of you next week. Take care. Hello everyone, and welcome to the For Fun of Knit podcast. This is my first, technically my second, video on October. Hello everyone, and welcome to the For Fun of Knit podcast. My name is Linda, and I'm coming to you for, oh boy. One more time.